No, what the fuck? No, come on. Fucking shit. Fuck's sake. I fucking knew this would happen. Ah.
So 2 months ago, I purchased this battered and beat up SurRon Light BX. And at the time of buying was the cheapest in the UK. I paid £1,900 for this bike, and you can see exactly why. It was worn out, rusted, corroded, loads of parts were broken and damaged. Not only did the brakes not work, but they were actually missing from the bike. But I had an idea to bring this bike back to life. A sleek, stealthy Supermoto style SurRon was the plan, and this is what I've come up with. So there we are. I am super happy with the way this thing's turned out. So far, everything's gone to plan. It's worked out exactly how I want it to be. So let's run through the bike and go through some of the upgrades that I've done so far. So as I wanted this to be a Supermoto style SurRon, the first upgrade we had to do was put the Supermoto rims on from WGT Racing. As you can see, they're all blacked out, and then I just went for the anodized purple rotors just to give it a little touch of colour. Yeah, super happy with these wheels. Coming up from the wheels, we've got the Reflosa Hawk 32 Pro front suspension. I run Reflosa suspension on my other SurRon. I've been super impressed with the quality and the ride of these, so it was a no-brainer to put them onto this bike. I'm not going to be riding this off-road at all, but as you saw from before, the front suspension was in dire need of an upgrade, and this suspension is just perfect for this build. Rear suspension is still stock, but I've just replaced it with a better condition one from my old SurRon. I've put a brand new seat onto the bike. This is twice as thick as the stock one. Super comfortable, going to be great for those long rides. And I've also replaced the rear mudguard as the old one was completely missing. Brakes. Now, as you saw, the brakes were in really bad condition. The actual rear caliper was completely missing from the bike. So I've gone ahead and just put some stock ones back on for the time being. It's just because I had these from my old SurRon. I am going to be upgrading the brakes in the future, but for now these will have to do. And actually, I don't think the purple looks too bad against the black. Next up, we've got the paintwork. I've pretty much painted every part of this bike, including the motor. Now, I know this is going to be controversial, but if you saw the state of the motor previously, I'll put it up on the screen now. It was absolutely horrendous. So it's now looking 10 times better, as well as the main frame of the bike as well. Much better with this brand new paint job on there. Also went ahead and replaced the pegs for it as well. And finally, the controller, the brains of the bike. This thing is an absolute beast. I've heard such good things about these controllers, but I'll go into a little bit more detail about it once we get out for a ride.
Yes, boys! Come on, finally out on the fresh build. I have been waiting for this day for so long. As you saw from that previous footage, we are about 99% done. A couple of little bits. I do need some cable management. I have now got the front number plate on there, which is looking absolutely sick. I love the look of these ODI number plates. I just think it finishes the bike off perfectly. So, but I just wanted to get out today and see how this thing rides. Where I've got the JSH aftermarket battery on here, the 60 volt. I just want to see what this thing's like. I never really rode this before I started stripping it all apart. So I'm just interested to get out, see what this 60 volt battery is all about, see whether it's worth keeping it, or do I then look at upgrading to a 72 volt. What I'd also like to do, either in this video or the next video, is my other SurRon has a 72 volt battery. I'd love to compare just to see what this controller is capable of with this 60 volt battery, and then what it's capable of with the 72 volt. So let's see what it's all about. So I've only been riding a short time, and if you've been following this journey with this bike, it's basically a brand new bike from the bottom up, really. The only thing that's really left that's original is the framework, a couple of the plastics and the bolts. I mean, apart from that, I've replaced everything else I can think of, to be honest with you. So yeah, a brand new bike from the ground up. And already just the little short ride I've had on this thing, the wheels and those tyres just feel absolutely planted to the floor. I'm so happy with these wheels and tyres. So a huge thank you to WGT Racing. If you do want custom wheels for your SurRon or Talaria, you have to hit these guys up. The quality, the service, the looks of their wheels, absolutely blown away with. So make sure you go over to their website, order yourself some wheels from WGT Racing, and if you use my discount code, you are going to save 5% on your order. What a difference between having those huge knobbly tyres to having these really slick Supermoto road tyres. It's just a completely different feel. Obviously new suspension on here as well, so the ride's just absolutely sweet as it can be. Bearings have all been replaced, so everything feels exactly how it should. It feels like a brand new bike. Well, it basically is a brand new bike, but even the new riser handlebars as well, it's exactly the sort of style, the exact sort of look and the exact sort of ride that I was after. So yeah, really impressed so far. And now moving forward with this bike, they've got a major update on getting this thing road legal. If you saw the previous video about exposing this e-bike law, then you will know how hard and how complex it is to get one of these from an off-road version to a road legal version. Now I know there's people out there who have done it. I'm gonna go, oh, it's really easy, this is all you have to do, it's really straightforward. But for some reason, the people that I've spoke to from HMRC and DVLA have just been absolutely clueless, and there's been a huge revelation that I will be going into in one of the next videos. But for now, it's all about this bike. It's all about how it handles. It's all about this battery and this controller. This controller is capable of some ridiculous things. And I am going to make a video on this controller, like I said, but I just want to quickly run through some of the things about the VTB controller. So most controllers, you get your controller, you get your connectors. Some then you have to buy a display for. Value for money, I don't think you can beat this VTB controller. So you get the controllers, the connectors, you get the coloured display screen, which is quite rare. A lot of the other controllers that I've used, not been coloured. So that's a huge bonus. Not only do you get all of that, you also get a brand new throttle. When I purchased this bike, I was going to replace the throttle. The one that came with it looked completely done. It was really ropey, so that was on my list of things to buy. I don't need to do it. This controller comes with the brand new throttle. Another massive bonus is the fact that this controller comes with a regen thumb throttle as well. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but any other controller on the market that I know of, this would be an optional extra. You would not get this included with the kit, so a massive bonus. And then next to my regen thumb throttle, I've got even more handlebar controls, so I don't have to look at the display and flick through. I can quite easily go through all the modes with my thumb on the handlebars. I can change my mode settings. I've got controls up here for the horn, which is going to be absolutely vital for this build. I've got regen settings, the whole lot. So yeah, value for money, and everything that's included in the price in the kit, unbelievable. But I guess the one thing that I really just want to test whilst I'm out is, am I keeping this battery, what it's like, what the range is like, and what the power's like. So let's get it up into mode 3, and yeah, yes, VTB, that's what I'm talking about. It's very fast, not quite on par, not quite on par with a 72 volt, but a decent amount of power there. I think that's, yeah, that's impressive. I've got a slight worry though, just looking down at the display, showing that my motor temperature is at 110 degrees, and that is a bit of a worry because it should be nowhere near that. As you can tell, it's a freezing cold day, and I know what you're thinking. You're probably looking at me going, Christ, he's put a bit of timber on over Christmas. It's not that, I've just got so many layers on because it is so cold out at the moment. Well, I'm going to use that as an excuse anyway, but it's a bit of a worry that why that temperature is running so hot. My only concern with the battery though is my other battery is a 55 amp hour, so it does have a really good amount of range on it, and I feel that this is not going to be that good at all. And it's an older battery, I don't know the history of the battery either, so just looking at it, it doesn't look particularly new, so whether it's going to hold decent charging, but I'm not completely confident that it's going to give me the range that I'm after. So I probably will invest in a new 72 volt battery, but for the time being, yeah, I will be interested in getting my 72 volt battery into this though, just to see what it performs like. It's such a small nimble little bike now. It's going to be so good for road riding. I cannot wait to get out riding this in the summer. Whoa. No, no. But yeah, no. No, what the fuck? No, come on. So, something's just flashed up onto the display, and then as I've looked down and seen it, everything's just gone off. This was my biggest fear. Fucking shit. Fuck's sake. I fucking knew this would happen. Obviously when I bought the bike I had no history on it, I didn't know anything about it, I didn't know what it had been through, changed all the bearings, obviously changed all the other parts that you've seen, and okay, so let's see if we can get this running. Okay, so this is gonna be a bit of a walk, but it's a 2022 model, so I really didn't think that a hall sensor was going to be an issue. Bearing, stuff like that, where it's been left, how it's been ridden, I get it. That's come back to bite me in the arse. So we've got a bit of a walk now, but I did have a little suspicion when I first started testing and riding this. Pin the throttle, the speedo didn't seem quite accurate. And also then when the temperature started going up for the motor, that's a big sort of telltale. Hell. That's okay, it's not like it's freezing cold. It's not like the sun's about to set. Been walking some time, let's just see if the motor's cooled. No faults, we're good. Temperature's dropped to 75, so we're still extremely warm, but I'm going to limp at home. I'm going to try and keep it relatively slow just so the temperature doesn't rise and it cuts out again, but I think that's the reason. The settings within the controller, once it hits a certain temperature, it will just cut out. But the fact I've had a hall sensor error message come up tells me everything. So I'm going to head back, jump online, we're going to get a brand new hall sensor. So I guess the next video you're going to see is me taking the bike apart yet again, taking the motor out, and we'll get the new hall sensor put in. Hopefully resolves it. The good thing is though, this has happened now. It hasn't happened when we've been out on a crazy long ride somewhere in the middle of nowhere. I knew there was going to be issues when we bought the bike. That's why I replaced a lot of the parts, like the bearings and mechanical parts. Obviously, yes, I did overlook the motor and the hall sensor, but it is what it is. We can get it sorted. Anyway, guys, I'll probably tie in with the next video the news about what's happening with the bike and the build, as well as the hall sensor. Hopefully we can get that fixed quite quickly. But as always, thank you ever so much for watching. I do really appreciate it. Thank you for your support, your comments, your likes. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more content, then go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't done already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Take it easy.